Hello, it's Leah X, and I want to get this over with because I am getting really sick and tired of having to redo this over and over again. In fact, the last time I tried doing this, my dog started barking at the UPS guy. But that's not what this video is about. I'm making this because Matt, aka Bangeek, made a video saying that he's going to do some collaborative Books vs. Movies review of The Hunger Games for his 3,000 subscriber challenge, and he wants us to leave our response. Now, I'm going to be honest here, I haven't read the books in almost 2 years, and I saw the movie twice, but I vaguely remember it. Because right now, Brave is coming out, and that also has a girl with a bow and arrow, and that's what I'm really interested in the moment. I know it's kind of off topic, but still. Luckily, I have a very, very vivid memory when it comes to books, so I'm going to give you my honest thoughts. Here's my brief comparison of the book and movie, The Hunger Games. By now, I think people get the basic plot of the series. There's this place called Panem that's split into 13 districts with only 12 remaining, so we think. And each year, the capital, which is like the main government, has one boy and one girl from each district compete in the annual fight to the death known as the Hunger Games. Pretty simple premise, kind of like Battle Royale, 1984, Running Man, and reality TV, but it's really the writing and the world building that keep you interested in what made the series so successful. Now, the movie came out back in March, and it was directed by Gary Roth of Pleasant View and Seabiscuit fame, and it's broken box office records for the year, along with The Avengers and probably Dark Knight Rises too. But which one wins the battle? How many copies are sold, or how much money you can make opening weekend? It all comes down to which told the story better. For me anyway. Katniss's voice is what really drives the story. Throughout the book you really get to know who she is and wind up really caring when something doesn't go her way. The same goes for the side characters, despite being told in first person. The first section is all about who these people are, what they're doing, and what Katniss thinks of them. No one in the first book is pointless and have an effect on the story in some way. I actually got really emotional when Rue died because of the connection that Katniss had with her. And in case you don't know, Rue kind of reminds Katniss of her sister, Prim, who she volunteered for in the Reaping. I really felt for it because we were able to know that through her thoughts. Unfortunately, the movie falls flat upon that aspect. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a very well directed and acted movie, but I just didn't feel the same way I felt when I read the books. Some may argue that the movie's better because we get to see multiple perspectives that we wouldn't get from the first person. Granted, we get some pretty cool scenes involving like President Snow, Seneca Crane, and his awesome beard, the game makers and their very advanced technology, and that very powerful sequence involving the rebellion in District 11. But for me, not knowing these things was what made the story all the more unpredictable. That scene with the fire and the mutts were all the more compelling, not knowing where they came from. In the movie, we know they're there for a particular reason, either to get Katniss to move towards the other tributes, or just end the whole thing. And that kind of gets rid of any possible tension for me. But most importantly, we didn't understand why Katniss likes or dislikes these people. I know some people will say that movies can't tell a story in first person as well as a book can, which is very, very true. However, in some cases, it wouldn't hurt to have a voiceover to tell us things we can't figure out for ourselves. My mom knows a guy at work who had no idea what was going on while he was watching this movie. Even though we got that opening little text and that PSA announcement. In fact, if I hadn't read the book, I wouldn't know if Katniss even liked Peeta romantically, or why Rue had such a great effect on her, and why we should even care about her death, or the love story, or anything. In fact, when Catching Fire comes out, I'm not sure if I'm even going to care about the love triangle, despite not even being a huge fan of that to begin with. Really, when you're adapting something, you have to make sure it appeals to people outside outside the fan base, which is why movies like A Clockwork Orange, To Kill a Mockingbird, The Godfather, and heck, even Howl's Moving Castle were so successful with audiences. They didn't just have the fan base in mind. Granted, it's a very, very good movie once again, and the actors were very, very talented, but when comparing it to the book, it just doesn't have the same effect. All in all, it's a fantastic movie, one of my favorites this year, but I prefer the book. That's just me. Now, if you excuse me, I've got a dog that's barking at UPS guys that